Time to clean that. Look at this. Come on, Steve. Look, there's spider webs in here.
I haven't done anything.
There's leaves in it. Steve, I have things going on in my head that nobody else knows.
That's for sure.
I thought your head was empty.
Thank you to Factor for sponsoring this episode. More on this later. Laura, what do you think?
What?
Is this needed or what?
Yes, absolutely.
Bugs,
Yeah.
forgot. Now, how do you get this thing out? Like, what can I do to be helpful here? Can I sit in the back while you're pushing? Move the McLaren out of the way for this.
Not that I'm going to do anything by holding the back there.
What about the bike?
Neighbor kills neighbor.
Yeah, detailer loses leg, then gets shot.
If you're new to my channel, this is Steve and Laura. They're my neighbors from across the street, and they are the best people ever. Very good.
Stop it, you're such a...
Steve has been in a ton of my videos helping me remove rusty seats, wheels, unlocking doors, getting old engines started, so on and so on. He is the man. So today we're going to be going over the step-by-step process for cleaning a motorcycle, but not just any motorcycle, it's his pride and joy. This is a 2009 Victory Vision, number 42 of 100 ever made, and he loves this bike.
It looks awesome.
It's a motorcycle company that Polaris started. Polaris does snowmobiles and watercraft.
Oh.
So they decided they wanted to do motorcycles, so they started this in Spirit Lake, Iowa. And they ran, I believe, through 2017. And then they bought Indian. When they bought Indian Motorcycle, which was more competitive with Harley, which was their target market,
Right.
they folded this brand. So they don't make these anymore.
Oh, okay.
Which kills me because I'd love to buy another one. But
This thing's a beast.
I'm gonna have to keep this thing going until the day I die.
As you can see, the paint is pretty swirled out. Same thing on the V-shaped taillights. There's bugs, there's spider webs, and riding grime everywhere. I'm using a car lift to raise the bike up so it's easier to work on, but everything that we're doing today can be done on the ground or a bike stand. With the engine cool, I first sprayed Titan 12 degreaser on the bugs and the lower section of the bike to loosen up the embedded junk. Next, if you don't have a hose or a power washer, cleaning can be done safely with Frothy Wash, which is a hoseless cleaning solution. You can use it on the side of the road, at a hotel, or in your garage, that kind of thing, to add a soapy solution to any vehicle for safe washing without water. Once applied with the aerator, then you can wipe with multiple clean towels and then follow up with hydrate or spray wax. Easy enough. Now check this out. If you don't have a hose, you can also use a pocket bucket that folds up and stores easily in the side compartments of your motorcycle or in your trunk of your car, etc. Perfect for road trips. It holds about 2 gallons of water to clean your wheels or your paint with a more traditional water and towel method. In this case, I put a few capfuls of Frothy in with the bucket of water and then wipe the paint with the original Frothy and water mixture from the aerator that I did a little bit earlier. That's going to give you maximum lubrication on really dirty cars and bikes. This little foldable bucket is a really great trick when you're traveling light. It's super handy, but obviously I'm in the studio today, so I'm just going to use the power washer and the foamer to coat the entire bike. After about a 5-minute pre-soak, I then power washed the loosened grime away, then went back in and re-foam cannoned the entire bike prior to my agitation wash. For the wheels, I'm using Brute wheel soap in a wheel bucket, and for the most part, the same tools I would use on a car wheel as well. If you're a bike enthusiast and new to my videos, check out the Harley-Davidson restoration episode for a more hardcore makeover after sitting in a garage for years with a ton of oxidation. This particular step-by-step process is more of an annual maintenance routine. I think about owning things and how I'd like to clean them versus like a quick wash versus a very huge restoration. So keep all of that in mind when you're planning your next wash. For washing a bike, avoid using old wash mitts because they tend to never be, let's say, 100% super clean and can cause swirls or scratches during the wipe or during the wash process. Instead, use fresh microfiber towels in your bucket. When that microfiber towel becomes dirty after wiping it for a minute or 2 or 3, then replace it. Don't dunk it into your clean soap bucket. Just pull out a fresh towel and then re-clean. And I need my wheel cleaner. For the wheels, I'm using AMMONYC wheel cleaner and the spoke wheel brush for all the nooks and crannies typically found on motorcycles. Okay, at this point, we're about halfway done. So that means it's lunchtime. And for lunch, I just don't have the time to go out, get fast food, spend more money, and eat something that doesn't make me feel real good. Instead, what I do is I get Factor delivered right to the studio. I run it upstairs. 2 minutes later, I have a gourmet meal, and it's fantastic calories for me. So with that being said, let's head upstairs for lunch. Now, the really cool part about Factor is they have 35 plus options and 45 plus add-ons, and they have smoothies. I love my smoothies. I actually put it right over there, and in between detailing, I pound it. It tastes really great. Plus, they have things like keto, calorie smart, chef's choice, vegan, and my favorite, protein plus. Steve, lunch is served. Steve, what do you think?
You're detailing my bike. I'm supposed to bring you lunch.
So I've always wanted to ask you this question.
Yeah.
What do you do here? Head over to factor75.com or click the link down below and use code AMMO50 to save 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders. That's code AMMO50 at factor75.com to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month of orders. Now, back to his bike. After the final rinse, dry with a thick blue drying towel and hydrate to add some protection during the drying process. Likewise, compressed air, an air blower, and even a leaf blower are critical to flush out the trapped water, especially on motorcycles. Now at this point, with the dirt and grime gone, the paint looks even worse. There's water stains and more swirls everywhere that I couldn't see because of all the dirt. Now, because bikes are so small and have tons of tight spots, polishing them can be a little bit tricky. To do this one, I'm using a pneumatic 3-inch polisher because I have access to compressed air. If you don't, that's okay. Use a 3-inch electric DA, or you can just use a microfiber towel by hand. They all work the same. The only difference is in the time it takes you to do the job. Either way, just slow down and enjoy the process. This is where it really gets fun. When you're done, the difference, trust me, is going to be worth the effort. Now, specifically on my pneumatic, I'm using a 3-inch sheer wool pad with exfoliate polish to remove the swirls and the water spots. When I was done with that, afterwards I followed up with a 3-inch waffle foam pad and exfoliate again, and the red really started to pop on the bike. Also keep in mind, you can do the exact same polishing process on the plexi windscreen as well. The one thing I find on these windshields that are plexiglass here is if a bug hits it, which it's designed to receive bugs, obviously, you go in and you, oh gosh, I got a bug, and you scratch it off with your nail, you're gonna scratch it. And this is a perfect example. It sort of mimics what happens when it snows and somebody goes out with a shovel and cleans the snow off their car. Same kind of concept. Incredibly soft. It's designed to be soft. It's not glass. But when you go in with your nail to try to remove the bug, you end up scratching it. On the flip side, because it's so soft, we can actually polish it. So I'm gonna go in here with a foam pad, exfoliate polish, the LHR 75, or you can do it by hand, or you can do it with electric. And this is gonna clean up real nice. And then of course, we'll go in and just use a regular glass cleaner on here, and it's gonna look fantastic. All right, you can see it looks 10 times better. The scratches are removed. Plus, when you're polishing, you're actually removing a lot of the old dead bugs that are jammed into the windscreen as well. So it's healthy to do that every 3, 4, 5 months, depending on how much you're driving. Now, if you're on the road and you're riding somewhere and you don't have all of your equipment, you're not washing, etc., and you need to remove bugs, the best way to do that is 3 things. You can either use Frothy, you can use Obey, which is a window cleaner, or spit spray wax like you'll be using on the rest of the paint. Spray it on there, let it sit for a few minutes, let it soak, and then go in with a microfiber microfiber towel and wipe it up, and you'll avoid the scratches that we just removed. All right, at this point in the process, I've just finished polishing the paint. It looks absolutely unbelievable. What I would call show car paint on a motorcycle. It's probably because it's 1 of 100, that kind of thing. It looks spectacular in person, a lot of flake, and it's very robust. So when I'm polishing it, you can see that I can put a little bit more weight into it. I'm not worried about burning through, and it kind of responds in a certain way. We go, oh, okay, you could tell that there was a lot of thought, effort, and time, and probably money put into this paint job at the factory. So kudos to Victory for doing that. The second thing is we're gonna focus on all the chrome. I'm pretty excited. I have brand new product, Flux Metal Polish. I've been working on this a long time. What it does is it brings back the chrome, but at the same time, it leaves behind additives that make it difficult for it to become more corroded. So in other words, once you clean it and put it on there, it brightens it up, it shines it up, but it's actually going to protect against that future corrosion. That's what I was really focused on, especially with these older cars that I work on, a lot of muscle cars. They don't want to go back in and keep re-chroming it. We want to make sure that it doesn't oxidize. So we're going to be doing that 3 different ways. 1, you can do it by hand, certainly in the tight areas. 2, you can use a machine, electric, or in my case, I'm using the LHR 75, which is a pneumatic. You can do it with a foam pad. I'll do it here because there's not a lot of oxidation. If there is oxidation, I did a Harley a long time ago, and I really wish that I had this product here. I would have used this with a wool pad on a pneumatic. That's gonna give you an extra little bit of bite to kind of cut through that rust or oxidation and then shine it up and of course protect it in the future. So that's what I'm gonna be doing here, mostly by hand and then a little bit with the foam pad and the pneumatic. With the chrome now looking insane, I focused on the 7-hole exhaust tip. This is covered in exhaust carbon and soot. So to clean it, I'm using Plum wheel cleaner that has a higher pH and a small wire brush. When everything is clean and done, it just adds a lot of contrast and depth to the overall job. Detailing is not just about polishing paint or shampooing the seats or whatever. It's about all the small nuances that add up to a big overall change. So just spend some time on what I call the armpits of the vehicle. Blast music in your garage and just kind of zone out. When you're done, you'll have a clean bike and hopefully a clear head. To protect the freshly polished paint, I'm using Reflex Pro 2 coating on the paint and Gelée Pro on the chrome and the rims. Apply each separately and allow it to rainbow after a minute or so, then gently wipe off with a microfiber towel. Bikes just have so many tight spots and crevices for dirt to get stuck or trapped, so having a coating on it will actually help the owner, in this case Steve, clean it much easier in the future, especially if he gets caught in the rain while riding his touring motorcycle around the country. The seat was just oily and dirty from riding all last summer. So first thing is to clean it with lather, leather, and plastic cleaner. Then afterwards, moisturize it and UV protect it because again, it's sitting outside a lot of the time with Ammo Mousse. Obviously, this goes without saying, but I'll say it anyways. We want to be very, very sure here that we wipe down the excess moisturizer off the seat to avoid slipperiness. Same thing, you never want to apply tire dressing to the sidewall of any motorcycle tire. So keep that in mind as well. Hey.
Hey, bud.
Good to see you. Come on in. Check her out.
Whoa. What happened to my motorcycle?
I know, right?
That looks awesome. 2009, you know, so it's 15 years old now. And, you know, it just continues to look terrific. But I can't believe how brand new, beyond brand new. You know, I picked this up with 900 miles on it. Didn't buy it brand new, but it was close enough, and it didn't shine like this back then.
There is so much coating on here. If you get caught in the rain, you are just going to cut right through. I'm excited for that. Or the next time you wash it, it's just going to come right off. So this thing's amazing. What do you have plans for it?
Going to do some riding this weekend. Got to do an oil change. We're going to try that Motul oil that you suggested.
Nice.
So, do that and check the air in the tires. Tires were new last year, so you know they're in good shape. Shouldn't really need much more than the oil change. So
that's awesome. Well, I'm super pumped. We wanted to just do this for you because obviously we've done 1,000 episodes where every time, you guys don't even know, half the time I break something and I go like, Steve, and I run across, I borrow a thing and it comes in, and sometimes he's in the video because he can be there, sometimes he's not, but I can guarantee you pretty much every single episode, Steve has something to do with it because I've broken something. So anyways, thank you.
Now it's Larry to the rescue.